Hello, Earthlings. It's time to reset your cultural dial. Coming your way next on your favorite device, from the Hoosier State to all the ships at sea, it's the Crawfordsville Peachcast. And now, here's your second or third favorite Dave from Indiana, Dave Peach. Warning, other people named Dave may also appear.
Thanks, CD, and welcome to the Crawfordsville Peachcast. I'm Dave Peach.
And I'm Dave Meyer, Dave Peach, excited for today's Peachcast.
We go back to 1973, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, movie number 72. This is Untoasted Season 4. This movie is mysterious. This movie is controversial. It was directed by a troubled director by the name of Hall Bartlett. Hall Bartlett, who famously declared, "I was born to make this movie."
Yeah, Hall had a not illustrious career. In fact, Dave, I'm not sure of all the details, but one of his previous cinematic outputs was one of the primary inspirations for the movie Airplane, and not in a good sort of way.
Now, does he get any money for that? I mean, everything is derivative of something.
Right.
But how does that work? I mean, sometimes the Chuck Wepners of the world make some money
they cash in,
and others don't.
I'm not sure how this goes. I'm guessing because they pretty much almost did like shot-by-shot cheeky remake, that Hall had to get a check out of this. They probably cut a deal with him up front because, first of all, I'm sure there was no money coming in and had not been for a very long time in regards to that movie. So I'm sure any offer to use that was so I'm sure Hall's representation, if he had any, Dave, and he was still alive during the Airplane era, they would have tried to go back for more, I think.
Okay,
but we get the crack research staff on that, Dave.
Yeah, maybe that was a consideration, but we'll have to see if there was any. Now, he was not foreign to lawsuits because there were 3 lawsuits associated with this movie.
Yeah, Dave. I don't know how litigious Neil Diamond is, in person or around the
Pretty
business.
chippy on this one, man.
Yeah, no, he was wanting a lot. He was not happy with how Hall cut his music.
Nor
was he happy with the fact he had to share, I guess, the composition composer credit, but. The movie has distinct flavors of, this is a Neil Diamond song segment, and then there's the everything else part. So I don't know, Dave.
Well, let's go over the lawsuits.
Okay.
First,
that's good. It's a good place to start.
And it seems like we always run into these movies where the author of the book hates the movie. Here we go again.
Yes.
Tom Wolfe.
Yes.
What was it? Right Stuff. And now here we go.
Yeah.
Richard Bach, the novella Jonathan Livingston Seagull. He hated the movie, and he was unhappy with changes, and eventually he was removed from the screenwriting credits.
Or I think he demanded that his name not be associated. So it's different, perspective on
the
that.
author of the book.
The author of the book, the reason that Hal was born to make this movie was saying no. No, I don't want to be anywhere near this. And there's also, Dave, did you read, it sounds like to me there was a person who was listed in the movie in the credits as a researcher who ended up doing a lot of work. She hired basically the cinematographer who was up for
Can you look
Academy
up
Award.
her name? Because I didn't write it down. Yeah, she was an associate producer, and she got like researcher credit, and there's no really reason why that would be the case.
Correct, Dave.
Central Indiana Rubber Products provides the power for you. Central Indiana Rubber Products, or CIR, keeps farm equipment and local manufacturing processes running with gaskets, belts, seals, and O-rings, among a variety of other products and services. Employee-owned and always customer-focused. Central Indiana Rubber Products, 989 West, 83 North, Crawfordsville, and at indianarubber.com. Central Indiana Rubber Products, or CIR, power for you.
I've got it.
Let me. What's her name?
Leslie Parrish.
I'm going to write her name down here. Leslie.
Okay.
Leslie,
Parrish.
if you're listening,
Yeah.
we know your worth on this movie. It was more than a researcher. Okay, the Neil Diamond lawsuit.
Okay.
He sued Hal Bartlett for cutting too much of his music, and for a guy named Lee Holdridge getting shared credit.
Oh, Neil didn't like shared credit in those days, I'm sure.
The
Dave.
legal outcome: 5 minutes of Neil's music was added, and 3 songs were reinstated. The credits were adjusted: music and songs, Neil Diamond; background score, Neil Diamond and Lee Holdridge. And Neil Diamond at that point said, "I am so despondent. I will always seek complete control for anything that I do. Hello, jazz singer." Maybe he should have rescinded that or thought a little bit more of that. Sorry, here we go.
That was not a beautiful noise.
There was actually a third lawsuit that was dismissed. Some guy said it was a ripoff of one of his movies, and so they said no go. So more background here. This movie was included in the 1978 book by Harry Medved and Randy Dreyfuss. It was the worst 50 films of all time. The 50 worst films of all time. Also on that list, this is a 1978 book, was Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. So here we go again.
Okay, we're going to weigh in on this, Dave. First of all, I want to say you have to be a fairly famous movie seen by a lot of people to make that list, right? So it's not really fair because I know there's a lot of worse movies that less people have seen. So it's not really fair. Let's start there. But it's also, this is the most, feathery, cotton candy-esque piece of media that to be any way, shape, or form in umbrage over it seems much, I guess, Dave.
What was that again? I tried to follow that. I'm looking down at notes. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to say next, and then you pop that out.
Dave.
Give it to me one more time. Hit me, baby, one more time.
I would just say this. If people are upset about this movie, I think they were doing a lot of cocaine at that point, Dave.
I got you.
Because this is not a movie that should draw ire. It's too puffy.
I got you.
Like the cotton candy. Dave, if it's a meal, it's soup. Okay,
I got you.
And not chunky. Okay.
Well, let's go over some of the numbers here. The budget, $1.5 million. It made $1.6 million. So, hey, it showed a profit.
God love
yeah,
him.
you go.
You're right.
Hal, way to go, Hal. Hall. I'm sorry, Hall. I'm going to call him Hal. I've been making fun of people calling him Hal, and now I'm calling him. It's Hall.
We could if he's alive.
Okay,
Dave,
let me do it.
Let
me do like a Dave DeBuscher. Was he the memory guy, or was that Dave Bradley, or what was that guy?
I think it was Dave DeBuscher.
Dave DeBuscher.
Yes.
Hall has been shown the door. Okay, I'm going to think of door, think of Hall. Hall has been done. I know it was Jerry Lucas.
Jerry Lucas
was the memory.
Dave, you're right. I was throwing Dave your memory.
That's pretty bad Dave. When you can't remember the name of the guy.
Okay, but here's good.
That supposedly helps you remember names.
You were processing, Dave. I follow.
Sorry.
And then I got to tell you, I was trying. I gave you DeBuscher just to give you confidence there. I wasn't sure.
Jerry Lucas, Dave DeBuscher. Okay. Apparently, Clyde, the
white guy, dark hair, over 6'5".
Clyde Frazier wasn't in the picture at that point. Okay.
Okay.
8% Rotten Tomatoes. Roger
That's a low
Ebert walked
number.
out of it. Now, how as a movie reviewer, how do you walk out of a movie? I mean, what else you got to do? I mean,
I think
I'm
he
going to
was
go
hungry.
get coffee. I'm sorry.
He
I'm
was
getting
hungry,
coffee,
Dave.
man. I've seen enough Seagull on Seagull violence. I'm leaving.
No, yeah, I was kidding. Okay, that's what I wonder, like some of that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, real
No.
quick before we move
Okay.
on from Neil Diamond, he won a Grammy and a Golden Globe for the soundtrack. He won a
Well, I
Grammy
hope he-
and a
I hope
Golden
he
Globe.
chilled.
Yeah, I hope he chilled a little bit after that, but he won a Grammy and a Golden Globe.
There are some ponderous lyrics in a couple of these tracks that
Yes.
Neil's singing to us, Dave. But
Okay, and I guess we will start our discussion of the actual movie with the.
Okay.
With the, I'm going to start. I'll start with what they have at the beginning of the movie. To the real Jonathan Livingston Seagull who lives within us all.
okay, Dave, good place to go.
Now, what did you think of the credits? I kept waiting. I kept waiting for something else besides the
Dave,
seagull.
I
Was he
wrote
worried about
down-
getting sued again, or what was the deal?
I wrote down title sequence equals art card plus words. Okay,
Art
Dave.
Wonder what
that's
that thing's
something-
worth on eBay.
I was going to say okay, there's that. So that's happening, in which case, like the first 3 or 4 minutes of the movie are something that basically a second grader could do, on PowerPoint today. And it's not moving. I counted, Dave. Okay, here's my question to you. When do you think we first hear someone talk? How far in?
20 minutes.
12
minutes,
almost
okay.
13 is when we hear the first James Franciscus.
Yeah, James,
I don't want to Franciosa
James
him.
Franciscus, Tony
It is-
Franciosa.
Correct, if you're keeping track at home.
Bill Pulliam, Bill Bridges. not
Tobin.
What's the guy's name? Bill
Richardson.
Bill Pulliam,
Mexican.
and then the other guy was Bill Paxton.
the actor.
Paxton. Bill Paxton. Yeah.
Pullman.
Bill. Yeah. I got it. I'm getting them confused. So,
But it's fun. So
yeah.
the beginning, the movie starts with this very static sequence of titles.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Dave, I got to tell you, it's kind of a weird chum in the water thing I was a little uncomfortable with beginning. Like, hey, like how did you stage this? Like you threw a bunch of stuff in the water and like you're almost like a reality show where they're trying to get the sister to, hit the brother or something. I don't know. It made me feel a little like they did a reality show with the Seagulls to begin with to somehow set the scene, but that didn't last long.
I was expecting a little bigger boat and maybe the Gordon's fisherman guy or Captain Nemo to kind of
Well, you're part of the Islanders organization.
Richard,
for like a
what's the
year.
guy in Jaws? Robert Shaw to kind of
Robert Shaw. Quint.
Quint
Hey.
to show up. Yeah, there was a there were a couple of scenes early. The garbage heap scene.
Right. That felt very early 70s, like ecologically, look at us. Look at what we're doing.
And there was some seagull on seagull violence, some fighting going on that was very disturbing.
It was, Dave, I didn't like it at all. I had to look
didn't
away,
like it
I
at
gotta
all. I
tell
didn't
you.
like it at all. Didn't.
Yeah. And I mean, how they did that, I don't know. Obviously, some of these are trained seagulls. I can't believe every now and then they maybe just got one of that wasn't trained and followed them, with the plane or the helicopter.
Well,
That's the other thing. This is
Yeah.
before anybody had any drones. Like, think about, these shots were a lot of work with helicopters and some small airplanes, and some of them were probably a little, I dare to say, but based on my early experience, a long time after that, probably dangerous for the people who shot them.
Well, let's go through. Jonathan wants to fly fast. He wants to.
Yes.
He wants to achieve. He wants to do more than the boring day-to-day fight for food, especially at that unseemly garbage dump.
Yeah, Exactly. And Davey, okay, he starts
Is this
out
all
saying,
life is about?
Right.
Is fighting for fish at a unseemly
Right.
garbage dump?
And I think he had that realization that yes, it is. So he wanted to do more than 62 miles an hour. He said that
Something
to
like
begin
that,
with.
yeah.
But then later he's like yelling 180, 190, and I don't know, like, is he on the metric system now? And I don't know what he's calling out.
And he wanted to go right down to in the water.
Yeah.
Like perpendicular to the water. Would that be what I'm talking about?
Something like that. There was
do
a
deep
pull up,
dive,
and then there
yeah.
was the go in, and part of me was like, okay, obviously they would cut around that. They didn't, they didn't drop, a seagull. I don't know, but then they held him underwater at some point, then let him go to shoot the come up part. So that was a little disturbing too.
So Jonathan Livingston Seagull is declared an outcast by Hal Holbrook, the elder.
Who's mean, Dave.
Yeah.
Doesn't have his Hal Holbrook nice homespun voice.
No,
this is an early Hal.
He is cast out of the flock to be on his own.
No more, Dave.
We've seen this in movies before.
The shunning. Yeah, people get shunned.
They get thrown out. Normally they come, we'll get into the movie, but after leaving, he discovers new seagulls and or dies. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
These new seagulls encourage and nurture his free spirit.
Yes, he kind of goes through this thing where he sees, like, at first, the entire movie you just see seagulls, right, for a while. And then we introduce, like, the mean hawk at one point.
Voiced by Hall. Thank you, Jerry Lucas. Hall.
And I almost
he was
felt
voiced by Hall Bartlett,
I felt like he got out some aggression on that because it was like...
Because he knew he was going to have to go to court case after court case.
Yeah. He's getting sued, man.
He's thinking about how much he's got to pay his lawyer just to make $100,000 on this bad boy.
And then eventually we see a whale at some point, and there's like horses. Oh, yeah. And it's like, oh, the world is opening up for Jonathan. Now, okay, a couple of times I want to say here, my first thought, do you think all of the seagulls had both a first, middle, and last name?
Well, their last name was always Seagull.
Okay, so that's the flock standard. But the rest of them had first and last names.
At one point, yeah.
Okay, the elder yells at him, and he doesn't use his middle name.
Yes, you're right.
He just calls him
Jonathan
one
Seagull.
Time,
yeah,
Jonathan Seagull, and I was like, oh,
that could have been a misread.
It might have just been dropped, and they didn't. Hal didn't want to give him another line.
Didn't want to fly him out to re-record.
we can splice it in if we need to.
So we see Maureen and Chang. Chang is the goat seagull guru in the world. He's the king. King of the seagull world.
Okay, in my head, here's where I went.
The
with
alternative
Chang.
seagull world.
Now this was I didn't look this up, but in my head, the television show that we both watched with David Carradine, Kung Fu. The elders, when he would have those flashback sequences when he was a teenager, it felt like the guy who voiced those was also Chang.
You're talking about?
I don't know.
Philip Ahn, A-H-N. Philip Ahn. We'll go into the cast a little bit later, but
we'll have to look into that. But that's what I felt. So it felt like it had that Kung Fu vibe, same kind of area, but I think Kung Fu came a little later.
Well, David, thanks to Paul Mavis, moviesanddrinks.com. Perfection is attainable if you already believe you're there.
Okay.
And that the body is just a manifestation of the mind. Perfection is attainable if you already believe you're there. The body is just a manifestation of the mind.
Okay.
I think that only works for seagulls.
Yeah, I think that's better. The idea of aiming for perfection is just more than I want to ponder any day, Dave.
We say perfection is a fault.
I believe it does plague more than it is a beautiful thing.
Jonathan Livingston Seagull does return to the flock. The elder has a fit.
Ooh, yeah.
Fletcher, and then we find out about Fletcher Lind Seagull. He's introduced.
Right. And Fletcher is like he's the young outcast, I would say, right, Dave? And he's the younger. This is where Jonathan has moved from being Luke Skywalker to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, he's kind of like the new John Boy.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do, Dave. And I also
the Ted McGinley, kind of like a Ted McGinley.
McGinley.
Hey,
Happy
here's
Days.
Ted McGinley.
Yeah. Ted's on Happy Days.
Ted's
Okay,
here.
Ted,
Yeah.
we accept it.
Sure.
We accept it. No
Married
problems.
with children? Yeah, he's fine.
He's
Love Boat?
there,
There he
too.
is. He's there. There he is.
Did you notice, Dave, that
The human bad luck charm, Ted McGinley. But
Ted,
if you're
James,
listening, I'm sorry. Took a shot at you, man.
it's okay. Ted's still working, Dave. So
He still is.
He's played it. He's played it well.
So Fletcher Lind Seagull is introduced. We go back to the garbage heap. Fletcher dies, or does he?
He hits the wall hard, Dave.
Oh, my. That was disturbing.
It
Very
was.
disturbing.
And I thought he was a goner. And seems miraculous, but he didn't die, Dave.
A lot of music, a lot of scenery. If you like clouds, if you like blue,
a lot of dark,
water, if you like rocks,
in the end,
this is your movie.
The last part of the movie is more dark and more almost like the title sequence, but with actual emotion.
So if you like that kind of that scenery, it's good. Kind of like what do they call that? The Discovery Channel kind of stuff.
It does have that. It's almost like, and this is a precursor to some of that kind of just that kind of nature footage. There's a lot of, if this is a kind of a Zen movie, if you want to put something on and it's almost like you could stretch to it or take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
There are very few times.
Take a nap. Oh,
you could, Dave.
I love this movie. I'm so glad. Anything else on the actual movie plot that you want to get to before we get to the cast and some fun facts to know and tell?
Okay. At one point, he's yelling 180, 190, and that's where I wrote down, "Oh God, how does he know what?" Mm-hmm. So that was in that area. What was the one? Oh, I short wings are the key. I thought that was, what are they trying to say?
What are you going to do with your wings? I mean,
they're with the wings. There were, this was an interesting movie, the one Chang, I don't know if there's reading, some people very much simplified it. Some people I think got way into, I don't know, almost this is like a religious thing. Mm-hmm. The one line that the Chang says to him is, "Keep working on love."
Keep working on love. Yeah.
That's probably a pretty good takeaway if you want to have one in this movie. It's not you got to want to watch a nature movie where it has the feel of a kid's, almost like something you would have watched at school for some, afternoon when it was raining and you couldn't go out. I mean, I don't know, man. It's got a vibe that is not of today's world.
How did the movie end?
That's a good question. I felt like it kind of just ended. I mean, because I thought first it was like, hey, go kill him, right? At first it was ignore him, then it was go kill him, and then it was like, no one's going to do that, I guess. And then it was kind of like, free to be you and me. And I don't know. I mean, that was, music swells.
It just kind of ended.
It just kind of ended. And maybe that's the parable, whatever. I don't know about you, Dave. When I was a little kid, I remember occasionally we'd have this rolling troupe of actors come to Newcastle, come to Parker Elementary School, and do Aesop's fables like in the cafeteria for us. Dressed in bright outfits with, and I'm sure they were getting paid like $5 an hour, and none of those folks ever ended up on any of the soaps. But that's what this felt like to me, is something from that kind of, I don't know, kind of Pollyanna. I mean, Hal or Hall, whoever we want.
Hall.
Yeah,
Don't confuse me.
Yeah,
Hall.
I think Hall did not go on to show people that, no, you missed it. I really had it. I mean, he didn't go on to do other things that were greater. So, the bag is still mixed here, right?
This is it.
I mean, they won a little money. I mean, he did make money, so you got to give him that. And Dave, it's 2025, and you can find this program and pay a little money to watch it.
Who gets the money? I had to pay $4.29 to watch it. I mean,
I was Fandango.
You and I paid $4.29 to watch this movie, and there's a reason that it's not free. I mean, there's got to be a reason it's not free.
I think that's where it's so. No, I don't know. It should be a better.
Does Neil Diamond get part of the $4.29?
I can't believe Neil's still in the cut.
Hall is gone. I don't know. Did somebody buy the rights? Kind of like
let's hoping that
private
it goes
equity.
To some seagull preservation deal. I love seagulls.
Well, let's go through the cast here.
Okay.
Jonathan James Franciscus, and he was in the movie When Time Ran Out. Movie number 7, episode 64, July 2023. When Time Ran Out, James Franciscus. Do not confuse him with Tony Francioso.
They had similar careers.
We had Maureen, played by Juliet Mills, right in her Nanny and the Professor era.
Yeah.
People let me tell you about. No, that's Eddie. That's Eddie's.
That's Courtship Betty's father, Dave.
Oh, Nanny.
I remember some music.
Was that the Hudson
Richard
Brothers?
Long.
Hudson
Richard
Brothers?
Long from Big Valley.
Yes.
I think, yes.
Why am I getting an Eddie and his courtship mixed up with My Nanny and the Professor?
It's quite all right.
Was it the Adrisi brothers? Adrisi brothers was Nanny and the Professor.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
Hudson brothers, they had their own show, but Adrisi brothers had Nanny and the Professor. Cowsills had the Love American Style theme, and I think it was who was that guy with Courtship of Eddie's father? Not Lobo. Harry. Oh, what was the guy's name?
Harry Nielsen?
Harry Nielsen. Thank you.
Okay.
Very good. Good.
Wow, Dave.
Juliet Mills was also in a movie QB7, which I'm thinking might get on a watch list, maybe season 5 or 6.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, Hal Holbrook, the elder. Richard Crenna was the dad.
Richard Crenna was Colonel Troutman from the Rambo movies, and I feel like he was on a lot of TV movies.
Philip Ahn was Chang, the mentor. Fletcher, Lind Seagull, David Ladd, who that doesn't ring a bell, and the Hawk was Hall Bartlett. I don't know how many times I said Hal. And the Seagulls. Don't forget the Seagulls. Did you know, Dave, they were housed in a suite at the Holiday Inn in Carmel, California?
Okay, good to know. I was curious as to where they shot some of this.
And apparently, Leslie Parrish was in charge of the Seagulls that were housed in the Holiday Inn suite in Carmel, California. I'm not sure I'd want to stay in that room for a bit.
Dave, that's one of those.
Hopefully they had their own room.
Dave, an anxious bird can do some damage. I hope, and I wonder too, like, do they go at each other any? You had to go, you leave them for 10 minutes and, you got a couple of, you could have a dead animal,
Oh, boy.
You could get a little gamey in there, Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Some of them not getting along, and maybe some of them getting along a little bit too well. But anyway, seagulls will be seagulls.
Yes.
Also, how do you think, Dave, and I've got the answer here, so I thought I will go and question for him. How did they get those shots of the isolated seagull, the clear out, the isolated seagull? How did they do that? How did they do that?
No. I was wondering that too.
I've got the answer.
Okay, I want to hear.
I want you to guess.
Well, my best guess was they took one of those seagulls out of the hotel room, took it up with them.
Leslie,
Now, here's the
Leslie,
part
get us one of those seagulls in
Get us
the
one of
room. Yeah,
Bragg, it's a good one.
yeah, get a good one.
We got a couple of shots.
Yeah.
Actually, they brought two because they were probably worried about one that would fly away and never come back. But no,
How did they carry him? I wonder.
my thought was they threw it out of the helicopter and then they followed. But then my fear was
bingo.
Really?
You nailed it.
Because I thought they wouldn't do that because it might get caught up in the backdraft and then they cut him to shreds. But that apparently they learned how to throw the gulls clear of the blades.
They actually threw the seagulls out of a helicopter.
That's Dave. I was like I thought no, somebody's gonna stop that.
And apparently the food was so good at that Holiday Inn in Carmel, they always returned.
Well, that's the story, my friend. How many gulls went up, Dave?
We
How
got.
many gulls
Here's the
came
deal.
down
When we're
Dave?
on Netflix,
Yeah.
or Prime or whatever, when we got the
that's coming.
big budget,
When we
when
they're
got
coming.
the big budget,
They're courting.
nobody would be better on Netflix than us. Okay.
We look good in black and
rule.
red.
We would rule.
We do.
We would
Yeah.
rule on Netflix. So when we get the big budget,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to go, and hopefully it's still there in Carmel,
Yeah.
California, or
Yes.
whatever is there now.
Right.
And we'll do our
Expensive real estate.
We will do our first podcast for Netflix in that room in Carmel, California, where those seagulls stayed.
We'll have the live deal there, and then we'll go eat at some place that Clint Eastwood's kid owns.
I think I'm going to take a shower probably before we eat, just in case.
Just the bird
Just in
thing.
case.
Yeah, it's a little thick out there.
Oh boy, that's two of those. I'm sorry. So the lawsuits and the mystery surrounding this film,
Yeah.
are they better than the film itself?
Well, I think they give the movie more dramatic edge. Like you might have if Neil Diamond is crying about he's going to change his life as a result of his experience here. People are like, what? Maybe I should see this. I don't know.
What's his excuse for the jazz singer?
He wanted to work with Olivier. Dave, I don't know. He wanted to do blackface because that was also
that
Neil
a good?
Diamond.
I mean, was that critically acclaimed? Was it a good movie? Was it did it make money? Jazz singer.
You know what?
I always think of it as kind of a middling movie.
I think.
Yeah.
I do believe. Okay, this is okay. Let me look at this. I don't know, but Dave, confidently, I'm going to tell you some things. Okay, so here we start with that.
You're going to speak frankly?
I'm going to speak frankly without factual representation.
Maybe not what I'm accustomed
maybe
to
not
hearing.
accurately,
Yeah.
but no. This is when Neil Diamond was hot. Adult contemporary radio was moving serious product in. So, Love on the Rocks is on this soundtrack. America.
September morn.
Yeah, and
We
America
danced
became
until the night became a brand new day.
I mean, it's
Sorry.
so I think that my answer is I believe it made money. I also know before it came out, somebody asked Laurence Olivier about it, and he may have had a couple of cocktails in him, and he said something which wasn't favorable about basically I did it for the money was kind of the thing, and don't expect too much. I think he was more specific than that. But regardless, one of the big things I remember about the movie and read about it was they had to do a big PR campaign and then have to get Lawrence, put him on some shows saying, I was just kidding. It's great. Go see Neil Diamond acting. It's really good.
In The Jazz Singer.
In The Jazz Singer, Dave.
I don't know why. You got me thinking about Neil Diamond.
Okay.
And those songs. Can you imagine how many people in New York City on WABC at 7:14 when Joe, Mr. Big Shot, was on the radio and he played that Neil Diamond song? You realize how many million people probably were listening, or hundreds of thousands of people were listening to that Neil Diamond song in Morning Drive in New York City?
I mean, and some of those tracks too, America, the way it builds, Beautiful Noise, the way that built. A lot of this stuff is Neil was big. And Dave, did you ever see Neil in concert?
No. Never
Okay.
did. Never
I
did.
will say, our mutual friend Mitch. Mitch had a way of going to concerts at certain sporting events involving transactions that would facilitate a seat or financial independence, and so we went to the Neil Diamond show with that in mind. I was a youngster, Dave. I was a freshman at the time. It was a cold night in Indianapolis, I believe, November, December. Anyway, we see Neil, and Dave, I got to tell you, I wasn't expecting a ton because I thought of Neil as kind of an old dude, kind of trying to be cool. And Dave, I was screaming like a 6-year-old girl in the corner of Market Square Arena. Neil won me over with the laser shows from America and him doing, wearing the cape kind of thing and doing probably some Elvis kind of looking moves. But Neil was an unparalleled performer, at least in my 18, 19-year-old eyes.
Got to give it up to Neil Diamond, and he's still out there.
Wow.
I saw him.
It's amazing.
I saw a clip. He is still in concert in some fashion. So it is Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Now, we saw the Reddit clip, which I can't even, I words that I don't even know. I mean,
well, okay,
that dissertation or that
right.
Written form, whatever you want to call it, that would make.
I feel like it was his life's work.
It
Dave.
would make NPR blush. I mean, they would. What words is he using?
Dave, he could not be more in love with the movie and more interested in his thesaurus than he could. But this fella, what would you say? I mean, it's a 15-minute movie about the movie, Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
I still didn't understand it, but
okay,
he did, and he kind of referenced a guy that I actually watched on YouTube, a YouTube guy named Adam Zanzie, 2 Z's in his name, Zanzie, and he put together a YouTube video defending the movie Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and he talked to many of the surviving cast members. I don't know how many seagulls he talked to, and I don't know if he went to that hotel suite in Carmel, California, but perhaps he did.
We hope.
I'll just kind of sum up what and it's really about the movie, and it's about a guy trying to defend the movie, Adam Zanzie.
Okay.
I wanted to even attempt to shoot a documentary about it, but because of complicated legal reasons that I can't really go into, that never happened. I mean, what is it about this movie that is so tied into all sorts of litigation? I don't know. Because of legal. Now let's think about this. Complicated. They're complicated. I mean, the movie is very uncomplicated, really.
The movie's
it's pretty simple.
It's
complicated.
Deal.
Legal.
Yeah.
I mean, you would not think of this movie as having a lot of legal issues. I mean, none of the seagulls would file suit, but certainly there were complicated legal reasons that I can't really go into. I mean, what couldn't you really kind of allude to? I mean,
don't know.
Give us a little preview or something. I mean, that never happened.
No, never happened.
He wanted
Dave.
to do it. He wanted to do it, but because of those complicated legal reasons, didn't happen. Adam Zanzie.
And Dave, I don't want to linger on Neil, but he did make a point to say that he tried to talk to Neil, and Neil's representation never got back to him, Dave.
Yeah, I tried to talk to Harrison Ford too, but he never. I tried to
surprisingly
get him on his Twitter page. He never responded.
Never got back on the DM.
Okay, next up. Did we thank CD? Thanks, CD, if we didn't.
CD's the best, Dave.
We did.
Yes.
Next up, it's Mr. Saturday Night with Billy Crystal and David Paymer. Billy Crystal playing a guy that probably didn't get to where he wanted to be, and we'll watch this movie from 1992. We call this the Entertainment Weekly era.
Okay, very good. The Entertainment Weekly era. No, Dave, I've got a picture in my mind now that's better. And this is like if you just know Billy from being funny Billy or sarcastic funny Billy, This is like Billy acting Billy, full on, And I think it was for some people. I recall it. I look forward to going back and watching it. But my recall on the movie is that it's a good movie, but it's kind of dark, and that's part of it.
It's dark in kind of a personal way. It's not like somebody's going to get hurt, but they are thinking about their life and what didn't happen, and if this would have happened, or I did something wrong, or kind of did a. I think the guy, is it based on the guy that did the chicken soup? What's that guy's name? Jackie Mason? Is it Jackie Mason?
You know what? I think it is kind of based on somebody, but also I will look this up, Dave. When we do this, you and I will both have better ideas.
We'll look it up. But again, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, it did not disappoint. I heard an announcer one time on a show say this never fails to disappoint, and I know what he meant. And I'm thinking, is that an Eggcorn? Because he really means it never disappoints.
Yes.
But never fails to disappoint. I think it's awesome. And I got to figure out when I can use that. Never fails to disappoint. I mean,
never fails.
Kind of like your order at a fast food restaurant that's never right, and they never fail. They never fail to disappoint. But we are available. We never fail. We never. I don't know.
We never close.
We might have disappointed you.
We
today.
could
I
fail.
Don't know. CrawfordsvillePeachcast.podbean.com. Podbean.
Yes.
You can like, share, and subscribe. We're on iHeart, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and Podbean. Dave, thanks so much for joining me today.
My pleasure, Dave, as always.
Until next time, America, for Dave Meyer, I'm Dave Peach. Thanks for listening to the Crawfordsville Peachcast.
Thank you for listening to the Crawfordsville Peachcast. If you enjoyed it, follow the podcast and ring the bell so that way you'll always be up to date with the newest episodes. We'll see you next time.